Good morning to everyone, and it's a pleasure to be here. I don't know if I'm well located here. I suppose so. But anyway, what I want to say is that ocean economy, and actually I want to focus precisely on the opportunities for ocean economy, for jobs, and for economic activities. So first of all, let me tell you what we think in Mexico we have. The ocean economy contributes more or less $2.5 trillion annually. So we're talking about big economy behind the oceans, and annually to the global GDP. And it can generate 350 million jobs worldwide. Now in Mexico, and this is what you were saying, we have 62% of Mexico land, or not land, but territory, is marine. And these marine ecosystems are around 3 million square kilometers is what the surface of our marine territory, compared to 2 million square kilometers of terrestrial. So we are more marine than terrestrial because we have islands. We have 24,000 islands in Mexico, 11 kilometers of coastal line. So what do we want to do with this blue bond? Actually, we want to promote aquaculture and basically to promote riverside fisheries, because it's so important. And we're losing a lot of fisheries in many parts of the planet. I have to say, in Mexico is not the exception. And we have two oceans. We have the Gulf of Mexico. Hopefully will continue to be the Gulf of Mexico, anyway. And we have the Pacific Ocean, what we can call it anyway, but it's the Gulf of Mexico, and the Pacific Ocean. And that gives us 11,000 kilometers. So we are really a coast country. And what we want to do is to generate one particular ecosystem, which is mangroves. We believe that mangroves are essential for the carbon sequestration, number one, and also because they are the places where the fisheries reproduce. And this is something that the fishermen and fisherwomen in Mexico have realized more and more every day. So we are going to restore. We have a national plan of restoration of mangroves. With this money, we're going to do a lot with that. And of course, this is going to recuperate, restore aquaculture indeed. The second thing is tourism. We feel that, Mexico is a touristic area, but we want to do it together with the ocean and not against the ocean, which is more or less the things we have done in the past. And one of the threats we have in the Caribbean coast is sargassum. As you know, sargassum has become a very big problem. So now what we're doing with sargassum, first of all, we are treating sargassum as a fishery. We have to fish it in the sea, not after they have come already to the beach, because it gets toxic there. So we are going to open up a circular economy park in Quintana Roo to treat and to make a treatment to the sargassum. We have companies that are interested on this, and we're going to produce cosmetics and substitutes of plastics, which is another of the main threats in the oceans today. So sargassum is an opportunity. We're going to invest in that circular economy. We believe then that ocean can bring circular economy, tourism, fisheries, but we need to invest. And that's why we put together this blue bond. And I think in the world we only have 7 bonds, blue bonds, and this is one of them. So I hope that many other economies are going to join us to be able to have this type of financial instruments, because we need to support the local communities that live in the coastal area. Now, the main problem we have in Mexico, and I think in many parts of the world, is that we are competing with industry, and basically with the oil industry. So that's something that we need to put together, because we do have some conflicts there in the Gulf of California, that at some point, you know that Cousteau mentioned that the Gulf of California is the aquarium of the world, which I think it is. And so we need to protect that area quite a lot from other projects that can really bring some conflict. So thank you so much for your attention. Let me tell you that I think ocean economy is a great opportunity for the world today. Thank you so much.
any thoughts that you can share with all of us?
Absolutely, and I'm very happy that Peter is with us because I was also in the UN for a long time. In fact, I was in charge of the long time ago, Agenda 21, it was a different, and I was in charge of Chapter 17, which was about the marine and the oceans. And it was the stem of small island development states and so forth. But you know, the thing is the following. Philanthropy, what happened is that oceans was seen as philanthropic activities, not anymore. And this is where we have to make the paradigm shift and look at the oceans as an alternative for food security, because the next chapter in life is going to be food, and food from the oceans is going to be very important. So we need to protect the oceans. Now, we also need to leave some space for them to restore themselves. Who said that? I think you said that, and you said that. Let's leave it to regenerate itself. And that's why we are committed to this goal of 30% towards 2030. For example, in Mexico, we are already protecting 22% of the marine areas. We have to achieve 30%, and we will, because really we need to leave it to regenerate. We have to leave the oceans to regenerate itself. Mangroves, we have here a magnificent picture of the red mangroves, and we need to make fishermen understand the importance of mangroves, because they didn't understand it, honestly. They were chopping them out to produce wood. Now they understand that these are the places where the fisheries reproduce, and the most important ones. So we have to put value to the oceans. And coming to insurance, let me tell you the bad practice in Mexico we had with Acapulco. Acapulco was a disaster. That we had Otis, we had the Hurricane John, and it was almost destroyed. Why? Because we didn't have mangroves to protect, because the coastal area was full of hotels. We didn't have really resilient. Now we are understanding that that place, which is so emblematic, so symbolic for Mexico, has to be restored, but differently. Totally differently. And there is a commitment from the government to restore it in every front, fisheries, tourism, to sort of make a model out of the restoration of a place that has been so emblematic. So we have to put price, but insurance was a problem because many of these hotels and infrastructure was not insured. So we need to make sure that we place importance in the infrastructure, in the marine protection, and I think we need to leave space for regeneration. And of course, we're going to be in the Ocean Conference, my dear Peter, and we are going to put all the interest of Mexico, but we need to involve the finance ministers. You know why? Because if we are going to put bonds, and if we are going to engage in insurance, and we are going to engage investment, we need to bring these people around. Finance and business, I guess.